You are now in tune with
Mamba Radio.
Alright, what up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into Brown Mamba Radio. For those there who don't know, my name is Jackson, and happy Monday to everybody out there. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed your weekend. Hopefully you guys, for those of you who went to Hard Fest this past weekend, hopefully you guys all had as much fun as I did. I know I had a good-ass time, and so sorry if my voice is a little raspier or whatever than usual, so kind of recovering from it. But like I said, even if you didn't go to Hard, hopefully whatever you did, you had a great time. And also happy Rusev Day to everybody out there as well. Sorry for no pod or anything on Friday last week. Again, I've been pretty busy in my personal life, and just gotta prioritize sometimes. It's pretty tough. Summers are pretty tough going on, and to be consistent with these things. But like I said, once the summer's over and things kind of settle down a little bit, I'll be able to get back to hopefully doing at least 2 of these a week. So this episode is going to be a recap of everything that happened, not just this past weekend, but what happened last week as well. And I know, like I said, I keep saying it, but it is, in fact, the dog days of summer, and not a whole lot's been going on. So like I said, hopefully, this one will be short and sweet. Like I said, my voice is a little tough. I got some more stuff I got to do today, so it will be a nice, quick episode. Starting off with baseball, since it's baseball season, right? Full swing right about now. With the Dodgers, the true definition of Agassi and ecstasy this week for the Dodgers. With both of their series, 2 really, really good series last week for the Dodgers. First things first, they split with the Brewers in, like I said, a much better matchup. Brewers, who which I'll get to in a little bit at the trade deadline, added some more some more firepower to their lineup. But they split with the Brewers, and in the series finale, the Dodgers put up 21 runs, which is the most I think they've put up. I can't even remember how long, maybe ever. But yeah, it was just everybody was on. It was just one after another. There's home runs galore. Extra base hits everywhere. Guys were getting on base and they're just making it happen. But like I said, with the good also comes the bad, because they faced the Astros next in the World Series rematch. Lost the series 2-1, and Game 2 the Dodgers felt what it was like to be on the other end of a lopsided victory. They lost 14-0 on Saturday, and like I said, that's baseball. What I mean? What else can you say other than that? That's just the way it goes sometimes. But yeah, again, tough series. Two tough series for the Dodgers. They're tied still for number 1 in the West with the Diamondbacks. And it's getting close. It's getting down to the wire for the MLB. August is already here, which means September is right around the corner. And we got some playoff standings are very, very important, especially right about now. And let me just take a quick look at the standings here, just to see. So the way it looks, the Dodgers, Diamondbacks tied in the West. You always want to have the top seed so that way you can get an automatic bid to the playoffs. But it's going to be tough. Whoever has to be the wild card team, because looking at the NL teams right now, so as it stands right now, it'd be the Phillies, the Cubs, and the Dodgers or Diamondbacks, and some combination of for the wild card. It's going to be either the Braves, the Brewers, or the Dodgers or Diamondbacks, and maybe even the Rockies. And all those teams are playing extremely, extremely well. The Dodgers, just like I said, just played the Brewers, had a tough series with them. Braves, very young, very talented, very hungry for more. And like I said, and then what all these teams in the NL have in common is they all, like I said, which I'll get to a little bit later at the trade deadline, they all made moves to try and get better and make a push for trying to secure their playoff spot. And so it's it's tough right now. Like I said, they Dodgers played well. They're still in first, and like I said, coming up games. They're on the road for the next for the next week. Starting off with the Athletics, who were red hot right now. The Athletics probably the hottest team in baseball right now. Got a 2-game series against them. Then they're moving their way a little bit further east to Colorado, where they play the Rockies. And again, just another tough division matchup. Like I said, every game counts at this point, but especially so when it comes to division matchups. Yeah, that's what the Dodgers look like so far. Angels struggling, man. The struggles continue for the Angels. For the last week, including the weekend, they won 1 out of their 6 games. Swept by the Rays, lost the series to the Indians. That's where they picked up one of their wins. And it's just tough times, man. Tough times for the Angels, and it's I mean you hate to see air quotes here, but local team, struggle the way that they have, but it's there's a lot going on for them. And it doesn't help that, big news came out this week that there's a report that Mike Scioscia, longtime manager of the Angels, will be stepping down after the season. After 19 years, that's a long, long time he's been there. Like I said, adding to the struggles and adding to the tough times for them, or just more, I guess, controversy in this sense. That report, I believe, came out on Saturday. Sometime on Saturday, and all Sunday, all you saw was that Mike Scioscia himself was claiming that report is false, saying that because his contract is up at the end of the season, and he's looking. He's obviously looking forward to wanting to keep working, and he's a baseball lifer, great manager for the last 19 years, great player before that, catcher for the Dodgers throughout the 80s and the 70s, and at the plate, but also just as good in the field. So like I said, the Brewers, trying to stack up. Red Sox doing their part. They just swept the Yankees this past weekend in an amazing game last night. Geez, the Red Sox, again, one of the hottest teams as well. And, Alex Cora really got them boys coached up and easily coach of the year or manager of the year for this season. But the Red Sox getting Ian Kinsler from the Angels. They just shored up their infield. A veteran like Ian Kinsler is always a great addition to any team, especially a team that's contending for potentially the title in Boston. And like I said, just the Red Sox getting better. But then again, another title contender and the reigning champs and the Astros. With arguably one of the most controversial picks with getting Osuna from the Blue Jays, who has a history of domestic violence and is serving a suspension, but he'll be back in time for at least the end of the season and the playoffs. But the Astros, from a baseball perspective, looking at it as baseball only, this is a great move. Osuna, one of the bright young pitchers in the league, and he. But outside of that, it's like I said, it's a tough decision to make. They're facing a lot of a little bit of a flack, a little bit of backlash from it. But I mean, they're trying to win, whatever it takes is their mentality. And then here in the NL West, like I mentioned before, the D-backs, they got better as well. They picked up Brad Ziegler and Jake Diekman, trying to bulk up their bullpen. To try and make a run at securing first place for themselves. So a lot of great teams, or a lot of great moves from a lot of good teams. Like I said, these teams are trying to, they're trying to win, and they're going to do what they can do. And a lot of them, this might be their season. Like I said, so many teams are playing well. Like I said, the Phillies are playing well. The Brewers, Red Sox, Astros, Dodgers, and D-backs. Like I said, all these teams are playing very, very well. And like I said, they're just trying to get it done. And speaking of getting it done, moving on to wrestling, WWE is trying to get it done with some more SummerSlam matchups set for the SmackDown side of things. It's going to be AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. And I know I mentioned it. I think I might have mentioned that before in the last episode, but please do not screw this up like they screwed up Shinsuke and AJ Styles. But then we also saw, again, I think I mentioned it, where we saw, I guess it's going to be Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar again. I've talked about this enough, so like I said, I'll save you guys. But again, this is just not something that a lot of people are looking forward to. But I want to wait at least until next week before I start giving my opinions on some of these matches so far, because especially in the WWE now, a lot can happen in 2 weeks, and we've got 2 weeks until SummerSlam. I believe it's August 19th. And a lot can happen. A lot can happen. But as of now, it's Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar straight up for like the 5th time. And we'll have to wait and see if what happens, whether Braun Strowman gets involved, if they add Bobby Lashley or whatever. So like I said, gonna have to wait and see. For a lot of things, like the women's on the women's division on Raw, what's going to happen with Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey? It's like, do they really put the strap on or put the belt on Ronda Rousey this quickly? Or something's going to, who knows what's going to happen? I don't know. But like I said, I just want to wait till at least next week. This week on Raw might be like they'll try to set everything in stone. And then, the go-home show next week is when they'll like start to really hype things up. So, so we'll have to wait. Like I said, me personally, I'd rather just wait and see. Then let's see. Let's go with the NFL since the preseason's officially here. The NFL Hall of Fame game was this past weekend, and which is the unofficial or the official actually start of the NFL preseason. And speaking of Hall of Fame, I'm gonna look it up right now. I didn't even have it in my notes. I forgot about that. But the crazy. It's just crazy how it's just a sign of when you're getting older when the the players that you grew up watching are now getting elected into the Hall of Fame, are going on to be coaches and managers. And like I said, I was just talking about this with my friends this past weekend. Seeing Alex Cora doing such a great job with the Red Sox. I remember watching Alex Cora on the Dodgers when I was younger, and just stuff like that. And like I said, a lot of the players who were inducted into the Hall of Fame this weekend. I watched a lot of them. I watched them from the beginning, from when they were in college and as a kid. So it's a crazy. So shout out to all the inductees. Let me see. Because I want to get everyone's name right because I forget the old guys. Let me see. Why do they not have a name? Why do they not have their names? Okay, here we go. Got it here. All right. So the ones that we all know, the ones that I know, we got Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis, Brian Dawkins, and then we also got Jerry Kramer, Robert Brazil, and Bobby Beathard. And like I said, congrats to all those guys. And like I said, especially, some of my favorites growing up when I was watching, Randy Moss, obviously, played for the Raiders. Brian Dawkins was a beast. Brian Urlacher was a beast. Terrell Owens was a beast. And like I said, with a lot of these, especially with Terrell Owens, for all of if there's any young people out there listening to this, this goes for a lot of different people, a lot of different things. Terrell Owens, he does have a, not tarnished reputation, but he has a reputation, and he deserves it 100%. He did it all to himself. But for those of you who think he was not a great player and he was just a clown show and all that stuff, go look at his records. Go back and watch his film. Go back and watch everything. Terrell Owens is like top 5 in every single receiver category, essentially. And like I said, just one of the greatest receivers we've ever had. But like I said, who's on the field and off the field antics, and his attitude, really, like I said, hurt his legacy. But like I said, just to go look him up, Randy Moss as well. Like I said, just if you're ever bored, just go watch Randy Moss highlights and see how insane Randy Moss was. Not just on his record season with the Patriots, but back when he was probably in the latter half of his time with the Vikings. Just an unreal, just a beast. Just could not be stopped. Just look him up. Same thing with Brian Dawkins. You want to see some crazy highlights? Look up Brian Dawkins, Weapon X highlights. And like I said, it's just kudos to all those guys for getting in. But with all that being said, like I said, the preseason's officially here, which means it's football season is right around the corner. It's wrapping up, and this season in particular, it seems like there's not been as much hoopla around the NFL as far as excitement around it coming back and stuff like that. And I'm just gonna say, I'm just saying this nicely or in a less pessimistic way, but it's going to be an interesting NFL season this year. And it's going to be just to see the response and to see how things go with football, with the NFL. And like I said, not just the NFL, but football in general. Because it's as much as I love football, like the game of football. Like I played football all throughout high school, and then I remained a fan of football, obviously after the fact, and have followed football very closely. Part of wanting to do this was because I used to want to be a football journalist. And the likes of like Adam Schefter, Michael Smith, those guys. Even like young Chris Berman, Sal Palantonio, like guys like that you would see. I just loved football journalism, and that was a great time. Me growing up was a great time for for the NFL and how popular it became. But now it's kind of seems like it's on the downslope of that popularity. And just because it almost, at least to me, it almost feels like irresponsible to root for football, to root for the success of football, and NFL and college now. Just because of all the the scandals and all the stuff surrounding it, and that have come out, with football, whether it's, the concussion stuff that's going on and how they hid the concussion, and then now they're implementing all these rules that although they do make the game safer, it does affect the product on the field. And I'm all for player safety. One of my best friends in high school dealt with concussions issues and actually sat out an entire year because of concussions. And like I said, it's a serious thing. And like I said, I'm all for player safety, but it does affect the product on the field. It really does. For better or for worse. And so there's that. Just all the stuff that happened with the players off the field, a lot of the domestic violence issues, all the, the other criminal acts that the players have gotten into and all the issues that are going on with them. And not only just that, but the way that it's not just the acts by the players themselves, but it's the way that the punishments have been dealt out, to them, and how they don't seem to make sense, where it's like, obvious one here being, Ray Rice was suspended for only 2 games for hitting his wife, but then we got Josh Gordon getting suspended for 4 games for smoking weed. It's kind of like, where does that, how does that work out? How does that equate? And I know, like I said, it's all circumstantial, and I'm just throwing this out there to make a point. And, like I said, there's that. And then there's just obviously, most recently, the national anthem issue and how poorly the NFL has gone about, addressing, the national anthem, standing or kneeling for it, and how they, like I said, just how all over the place they are and how poorly they've done it, which essentially is, this national anthem thing is a metaphor for how poorly the NFL just does things overall, and under the tenure of Roger Goodell, who was another reason why people don't like the NFL, is because they just don't like Roger Goodell. As every time that they do the NFL draft, he's always booed, no matter what, no matter where they can move from New York to Chicago to wherever the hell they want, but no matter where they go, Goodell is going to get booed. And like I said, it's not just NFL, but in college as well. There's a lot of the paying the players scandals and lying about that stuff, and most recently with the Urban Meyer situation about knowing about these domestic violence issues and lying, saying he knew nothing about it when he said he actually did. And it's just, like I said, it's tough. It's tough times right now for football. And like I said, I'm just not. It's interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how things go this year. Like I said, this year will probably be a turning point for the NFL as far as how things go, and where things go. Because for the longest time, the NFL was the most popular sport in America, not just, maybe arguably the world as well. We all know how popular soccer is, or football, or football is overseas, not just in America, but for sure in America. And American football was the number one sport, but it's basketball's taking that crown, man. They're coming for the throne, and like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see. Like I said, I'm still gonna watch my Raiders. I might not watch as many games as I used to, but then again, I am playing fantasy football this year, so I probably will. I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough thing. It's a tough struggle for me personally, because like I said, I love football so much. But it's hard. Like I said, it just feels irresponsible to root for it and to root for the success of it and stuff. Considering all the things that are going on with it. But like I said, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. And not to end on a sour note, but ending on a better note. The NBA. Like I said since it's the NBA off season and things are kind of slow with the NBA. The biggest story from last season, which is just more funny than anything, was the whole Draymond Green, Tristan Thompson issue, or incident that happened. Apparently, they got into a big fight some say it was a big fight. Some people say just 1 or 2 punches were thrown and then they were separated. Some people say it wasn't anything at all. But anyway, there was a scuffle between Tristan Thompson and Draymond Green. Obviously, if you've been paying attention, stemming back from the NBA Finals and how much shit Draymond Green was talking. It's just, it's like I said, it's just more funny than anything that this happened, because nobody deserved. If it was anybody, of course, it was going to be Tristan Thompson, who was receiving the most shit talking from Draymond Green, who just obviously dishes out the most shit talk to not just Tristan Thompson, but to everybody. And like I said, it was more funny than anything, because like I said, nothing serious came of it. No foul, no police reports were filed, no charges were pressed, nothing, and it was just more, we can just laugh about it since it's more whatever. And then it was funny the way Draymond Green handled it afterwards, saying that, talking with his Instagram stories and stuff like that, saying that, maybe they should have a parade since it's such a big deal for them and stuff like that. It was just funny. And also the other big thing coming out of basketball is, and that I think didn't get as much coverage as I thought it should have gotten, but the NBA has reached a deal with MGM Resorts, and they will be officially partners where MGM will be buying data from the NBA that they can use for their sports books as far as gambling, because since the NBA's since sports gambling overall, I hit something. As far as sports gambling overall is being legalized in America or in most of the states, or it's being legalized in America, but it's up to the different states to decide whether or not they would like to implement it. The NBA will keep track of data as far as like how betting goes and stuff like that. And like I said, MGM wants that data so they can they can change their sports books and set the lines, set the scores, and set the props, the bets, whatever. So, big deal, big deal. And of course, NBA, has definitely been at the forefront or definitely been one of the proponents for legalizing gambling and accepting gambling in sports and seeing how it can help, create revenue and stuff like that. And like I said, we'll have to see how that goes. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting to see. I never thought I would see it in my lifetime, sports gambling. But then again, I also didn't think I would see marijuana get legalized. So who knows what's coming down the chute. Yeah, like I said, that's about it for me today. Like I said, it was short and sweet. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And thank you guys for listening. Like always, you guys know how much I appreciate all you guys out there, guys and girls listening. I say guys generally, but guys and girls, how much I appreciate you for listening. Thank you so much. And if you do like what you hear, make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. I'm there. Like I said, I'm still working on getting on Spotify, still working on that, but make sure you subscribe on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube as well. Working on some more original like more YouTube content, but that's, like I said, that'll be later. I'm still working stuff out, but follow along there, everything, or subscribe on everything there, and also follow along on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, all the socials, to follow along for updates and other cool posts and content and stuff like that. And shout out to the blog boys. Everything is available on the blog, the website, brownmamba.us, which I do need to update. Like I said, I'm sorry that that I've been, a little slacking and stuff like that. But like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on with the job, getting a new place. Did a lot of stuff with some other things going on. But like I said, a lot of stuff's going on. But I appreciate you guys following along. I really, really do. So that's going to do it for me today. I'll try to be back on Friday. And like I said, or at least before Friday, to give you guys a recap of what happened this week, depending on how things go. So stay tuned for that. And like always, everybody, don't just have a good week, make it a good week. Drink more water, because health is wealth. And please be kind to each other, because it's easy to be nice. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.